Sabah everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Last year I shared with you guys my experience from using the Yi Action 4K camera. It's my go-to action camera that I've been using. I do time-lapse, I do a lot of things from it, and you've seen it in my videos in the past. But the main reason why I shared with you guys last year was because dollar per dollar in value, it was a much better deal than any of the options that you got from GoPro for an action camera that gave you 4K. It has touchscreen, great options as far as accessories, the ability for it to mount on top of a tripod mount right by itself without a case. And all of that was under $250. Well, at CES 2017, they upped the ante one more time. They went to 4K at 60 frames per second, beating out the GoPro options even at the beginning of the year. There's going to be more features, voice control, streaming, even VR options onto this camera. So there's so many more things that are available that will give you a much better experience that we can get with almost any of the offerings right now with GoPro. This is TK, and let's go ahead and do a quick comparison between last year and this year. I'm going to show you guys some of the main benefits and why this is a great deal. Quick comparison from what we had last year to this year. The price did go up a little bit. Obviously, this is a brand new release. It just became available on Amazon. The original box only came in last year with the Yi Action 4K one. Only came with the camera. There was no waterproof casing. There was no additional things, and you had to buy the additional waterproof case. I think it was about $25 to $30 for the official one from Yi. Again, so that was an additional purchase. Got you to around $300, closer to food tax. This comes in a little bit over that, $339, but it comes with the waterproof case and all the new benefits that we get with the camera. Here is the camera. The form factor looks the same. I don't know if you guys could see this, but there's like a nice little textured feeling here. That's one of the main differentiators, of course, other than the fact that it says 4K plus. The main plus here essentially is the 4K at 60 frames per second. This is something that not even the Hero 5 session or even the Hero 5 set of cameras that we have this year are even coming close to be able to touch this. We still have the touchscreen display in the back, fully functional in the back. We have the two sets of microphones, and I think if I'm not mistaken, they did move one of the microphones from the two were on top in the old model. Let me show you guys the existing model. So this is the year 4K one, the one I showed you guys last year. Again, same form factor, you'll notice they look pretty much the same. Actually, they fit the same casing. So if you have the waterproof casing from this camera, you could still use this. They still both have the screw hole at the bottom, the battery ejection side here. Let's go ahead and open it up. Pretty much the same, and they're actually still using the same memory, the same battery on both. So you have extra batteries on here, you can use them. The SD card still fits in here. Hopefully you guys could see that. There is some recommendation as far as SD cards, as now they require slightly faster SD cards than what they did with the older one. We have the QR code to download the app. On the left side, we have one of the microphones on the new, the Plus model, and then on the old one, both microphones were on top. So you'll notice there's one here, one on the side, where with the old one, they were both on top. As far as the speaker, still located at the top, we still have the one button control here for power on and shutdown and initiating the shutter. On this side, what we have now is a new interface. And now we finally now have USB Type-C. Now we're gonna have a couple of functionalities here that we didn't have with the original one is charging, obviously, connection, faster transfer rate, but also the ability to use external audio. So we'll be able to use external audio microphones to be able to help augment the audio quality that's coming out of the camera. So you don't have to really just rely on the audio built in here. Although it's reasonable, but it's something that you want to be aware of that you can definitely check out. Again, on the bottom, pretty much the same. On the back, we're greeted with the same interface. Almost looks the exact same thing. So let's go ahead and power them on. And you notice boot up is extremely fast. Now I do have the one on the right. This is the Plus model. I have it set to 4K 60. This one is set to 4K 30, and that's really where the limitation kind of reaches on the left one. You're stuck to 4K 30, and that's basically something that you cannot change with firmware. I do have the view right now set to be obviously the fisheye lens I have here. Let's go directly into video. They're both set the same thing. Main benefit, again, the processing power. Before we go too far, the box content, we have a USB Type-C to USB Type-A cable. We have this is basically the 3.5 tripod mount, the connector, and then this is the waterproof casing. It does come directly with this. It looks like there's a little bit of smudge on the plastic. There's a plastic covering it. It does have a safety mechanism. You have to unlock to be able to open, and then here you go. And again, one of the main reasons I wanted to show you guys this, so this is the 4K Plus. This is the new model. You see it fits here. Obviously, this came with it. Wouldn't be surprised. But the main benefit here, this is last year's model. Again, just the 4K. Both fit, both nice. They were able to keep the same form factor and not have sacrifice any functionality. We do have, basically the casing here is waterproof. So let's go ahead and close it up. Actually, I did. So you clamp, you bring in, close it. Pretty much set. It'll interface with any GoPro adapter that you have, or if you want to be able to use it. And this is how we get the waterproof casing here. It does not have waterproofing the way, or the weatherproofing the way the new Hero Session or the new GoPro ones are. But again, with the casing that's included, you don't have to worry about buying something extra. It's already included. The one button interface is here. We don't have any interface here with the touchscreen, as we don't have a way of touching it. So I would say set up all the options that you want on here, and then use the shutter button. The other thing is you can also control it via Wi-Fi if you'd like. The Wi-Fi connector is turned on, so you can interface with it directly with the app, and I'll show that to you in a second. One quick thing before we move on, they do recommend a certain type of memory cards. They give you the few ones that they have tested. The main thing you want to keep in mind, it has to be a class 10 or higher, U1 or higher speed rate to be able to get the best performance with the 4K. Also, they recommend you to format it to FAT32. So if you need more information, please contact them directly via the support@yeetechnology.com. The interface is pretty clean. You can see it says video 4K at 60 frames per second. What we have here is the option to go into settings, the recent video, the one that if we basically obviously see the recent videos we've taken. You see that the microphone logo is up, which means we are recording audio. This is how much time I have left on this SD card. Now this was not a clean SD card, so I still have only 37 minutes at 4K at 60. If I change the resolution, it will adjust the timeline that's left. Battery percentage, of course, tells us how much battery we have left. Going into the settings gives us the ability of controlling resolution, field of view, shutter, metering mode, auto low light, video quality, white balance, color, ISO max, ISO setup as far as max, and sharpness. Where you want to be able to check here is, you'll notice 4K. This is 3840 by 2160 at 60 frames per second. Of course, I can set it back to 30. I'm going to keep it at 60 at this point. Field of view is wide angle, and basically that's the only setting that we have at this point. I'm sure we'll have other options. And let's say we go here. We'll go, here it is, 4K. At 30 frames per second, and still only wide. Let's go back. I think it's when we start downgrading. Let's go to 2.7K, and we'll keep it at 60 frames per second. So field of view is wide. Now we have medium, so we have the ability of changing it. So when you're in 4K, the only option you have is wide angle view. We'll go back, and then going into the regular settings, we have the adjust lens distortion. This is off in 4K, but we'll have to check that out with the further detailed video test. Wi-Fi option, I do have that turned on. You need to turn on the Wi-Fi to be able to control it from the application that you can install on your device, and I'll show that to you guys. SD card, this is where you'll go in, and if you want to be formatting it, you could see I have about half of it left, and that's why I only have about 37. Last used mode, this is the default one, so if you're using it in video, you'll remember it every time you turn it back on. Bluetooth pairing if you want to connect it via Bluetooth. And then overall, pretty good. Quick settings here gives you the access to be able to change from photo, timer, burst, time-lapse, or slow motion. Let's go to slow motion, and right now slow motion is set to be at 720p at 120 frames per second. Let's go back here. Slow rate, I have, it's set to 4. I can even go to 8. So let's go to 8. That's 240 frames per second at 720p. That is amazing. Let's go back here. The other camera just shut down, and we can go back into setting. We'll go back. Yeah, now we have the ability of turning on adjust lens distortion. So if I turn this on, it will adjust and it'll try to compensate for that for the video. Overall, very nice. I like the fact that it's simple, it's easy. The interface is very easy and very intuitive. The ability to use external audio is very good. The ability to, it still has the same form factor. Great battery life. I have a lot of batteries from my 4K camera, the one from last year. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking this out. But let's go ahead and turn on the app on the device. The Yi Action camera is the one that you want to download. They give you the QR code inside of the actual pamphlet. Now it does say there's a new firmware. So the Yi Action camera, the one I had from last year, and the new one have it. So I'm just going to say download and download. So it's going to download those two firmwares. We'll install them on the camera when we're ready. For now, I'm just going to connect to this camera, say next, next. It's asking us basically to turn on the camera and just make sure that it's turned on and the Wi-Fi is turned on. The default password is set within the app, and you can change it if you want to change it later on. But it does connect via Wi-Fi. You'll notice connection is successful. And then we have directly, it's right there. It's actually, it's filming me right now the way I would actually be filming this video. Now that we have the application set up, it's pretty simple. We have the option of going between video. You can change the different settings, the loop, you have slow motion, time lapse, and you can set the different options right here. Video and photo to be able to take a picture and video at the same time. You can turn on the grid, turn it off, and you can change the actual angle view if you're able to basically go from wide angle to regular angle. Settings, this is pretty much what you had over there. Auto low light option, video quality is normal, white balance, color, ISO, sharpness, time lapse, sound effects, and the file size, of course. You can set the different file format. Right now it's 4 gigabytes. And that's the maximum one right there. Interval is 5 seconds, but I think that's because we're in video and photo. Let's go back to regular video and then go back into settings, and it should change the options a little bit for us. So resolution right now, again, 4K is 60 frames. You can see all the different resolution. It can go all the way down to 864 by 480 at 240 frames per second. And then of course the gallery can be accessed from here. You can access the files and then transfer them down if you want to. The great benefit of this is if you have it in the waterproof case, you can definitely put it in the water, set it up a camera, and then take it there. If you want to switch between video and camera, you just do it this way, and then now you're able to start taking pictures. You'll notice this right there. I can just snap a picture. It did, and it snaps it at the 12 megapixel resolution. Video-wise, I can switch over to 4K 60, turn it on. So it gives us the functionality of looking at the camera, making sure that we're able to see what it is. We have the consistent battery meter here telling us how much battery we have on the camera. Now you can connect basically an external power source and still use it at the same time. Just be aware, obviously, if you're outdoors and you don't have that option, it's not going to happen. But if you have a battery pack, you can definitely keep and extend the battery life of this. And overall, it's going to be pretty good. This is a great camera. It sells for about $339 right now off of Amazon. It sells directly from EE. And I have to say, with just the set of features that we have right now voice control is going to come in very soon. We do have EIS. We have the ability to be going from wide to regular view. You have a very detailed menu, the ability that actually gets firmware updates straight to the application. We're going to have live streaming. We also have Bluetooth control. We also have the ability of using voice control that's going to be coming out in the near future. It does have the microphone array for it to basically start working. So in the middle of the year, we're going to basically have something that is very, very nice. And even without the voice control and live streaming right now, it does give you out of the box 4K at 60 frames per second. That's something I have like the GH5 that I recently upgraded to. Those are qualities that you're thinking of getting at higher levels. So when you want to have more continuity with your video quality, like let's say I'm using my DSLR or my GH5 soon, we'll be able to stay the same frame rate, 60 frames per second at 4K, 60 frames per second at 4K. Again, GoPro doesn't have that at this point. All they have right now is stuck at 4K at 30 frames per second. So it's cheaper, it's better, it has a lot more things that you can get out of it, and it's going to get even smarter as time goes on. Again, this is not a sponsored video. This is something I decided to pick up, as last year I picked up the E-Action camera. The E-Action 4K Plus this year looks to be a really good contender. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I am going to do a video that's going to be in 4K at 60 frames per second, showcasing some of the main benefits of this beautiful hardware. Like and subscribe as usual. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.